Alex here with a video on clash of rights. The rights that will be clashing in this video are parental rights and the child's rights. And I'm only going to come up with one example because it's a strong example, and I think it'll get the point across. So I actually thought about this video topic when I was talking to somebody about personality disordered parents. And yes, personality disordered parents. I'm not going to use the word invariably. I think it might depend on the personality disorder, but probably very close to invariably will abuse and neglect their children. And this comes from the deformed or warped perception of reality that personality disordered people view the world through. So the discussion that I was talking to a friend about went into the area of how do people end up with personality disorders? Well, they're abused or neglected severely, and that abuse and neglect manifests into a series of survival mechanisms that basically, when you look at them all together, amounts to one of the many personality disorders out there, whether it's narcissistic personality disorder, borderline personality disorder, antisocial personality disorder, whatever it is. It happened because of child abuse and neglect. And so the friend I was talking to said, well, I don't think it's fair then that these parents who have personality disorders are losing their parental rights because they can't help it. They can't help what they're doing. They've been abused. They have suffered such bad abuse and neglect that their brain is broken. So they don't deserve to lose custody. And I said, yeah, well, that's true in the sense of parental rights. The problem with child custody cases is that the court has to look both at parental rights and the child's rights. Yes, it's not fair that the personality disordered parent who suffered at the hands of their own parents can't see their kids, but it's also not fair that the child doesn't get to have a happy developmental life. The child also deserves to grow into a healthy home, to be loved, to be nurtured, to learn, and to thrive. The child has all of these rights. And if the personality disordered parent is allowed to continue their abuse and neglect just because it's their parental right to exert control over the child, and just because it's not their fault that they were abused as kids, well, what does that do to the child? Now the child is suffering. Now the child's rights are being ignored. So this video, aptly called Clash of Rights, covers this problem where you have the rights of a parent and the rights of a child, and the court has to balance them both. And actually, the child's rights end up being much more important because of the best interest of the child doctrine. It's not called the best interest of the parents, it's called the best interest of the child. So the child's rights will trump the parents' rights. It is sad that personality disordered people were abused and neglected. It is sad that it manifests in their abuse and neglect of their own child oftentimes. Those are sad realities, but that doesn't mean that the personality disordered parent should still have any kind of leeway to abuse and neglect their own kids. At some point, somebody has to protect the child, even if it has to be protected from their own parent who also suffered the same abuse and neglect that the child is now suffering. It's a sucky, sad situation, but that's what the law is, really. The law is there to help understand where some of these clashes are going to fall. You know, where the chip's going to land in this particular clash of rights. You know, a lot of law is that. There's rights, different people have different rights, and the law figures out what rules are going to be made to determine which rights trump where and how and why. And in this case, in child custody cases, it's the best interest of the child. The child's rights will trump the parents, and it doesn't matter if the parent can't help what they're doing, and it doesn't matter if it's not fair. The child is entitled to protection from that parent. Hopefully this video gets that point across. Great topic. I'm glad to have thought to do a video on it, and if anyone else has any examples as to how these realizations may have impacted them or their friends, I'm curious to see what they might be posting in the comments below. So see you guys next time.